Hey friends from all around the world, thank you so much for watching this video. I am Max Carton and this is...
Max, the friend from Max.
Yes, we're here today and we are doing the famous SG shootout again, but this time just a tiny little bit more specific.
Yes, indeed, Max. Maybe we should say the specs from the guitars?
Yes, you may go.
So this is my 2012 Epiphone SG G400 1966 custom shop Epiphone limited edition in cherry red, and it's just mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, medium jumbo frets, and the pickups, stock pickups. Everything is stock except for the tuners. Those are Gibson Deluxe tuners because I think they looked very cool.
Yes, and my guitar is a Gibson 61 reissue SG. The main differences are that this guy has a shorter pickguard, and also, as you can see, the knobs are located in a different place. These are just a little bit more at the edge, and that's actually what I prefer to look at.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's something about SGs that I really am pretty anal about. That I like my knobs to be as close to the edge of the guitar as possible because I like the look of it. Don't know why, but I just like the look of it. And as you can see, this guitar is not stock. These are so many mods. Where do I start? Well, we have these pickups. They are both DiMarzio pickups. We have a DiMarzio DP103 36th anniversary PAF in the bridge, and then we have an Eric Johnson custom in the neck for extra clarity, and then we have two switches here instead of tone pots. The switch on the bridge gives it a parallel function on the bridge. The switch on the neck splits that coil down to only one coil, so it gives really nice Strat-esque kind of tones, not really there. I changed out the bridge for a Tone Pros locking bridge here. And then I changed out the tuners for Gluson Grover style locking tuners. I added a Tusk nut, and I think that's about it. Maybe two treble bleeds on these volumes, and that's basically it. So as you can see, nothing stuck about this guy at all.
Yes,
and so
indeed.
When first touching the guitars, what do we feel?
So this has a slim taper D neck profile, which I really like, but at the time I bought it, I didn't really care about neck profiles. I didn't know what it was.
And neither did I think. I did know a few things, but this guitar has a really thin neck. It is the 60s style neck, so if you don't like that thin neck, you don't have to go for the 61 because it has a really thin neck.
This neck is a little bit thicker.
Yes. And if you can see the basic specs of the guitars, I have binding on my guitar.
I don't.
I have the old finish on here, the nitro cellulose finish. He has a plastic kind of finish.
I also noticed it's a little bit smaller here.
The corners.
The dimensions are a little bit different.
Yeah, the bevels on the guitars are really different if you look closely. In my opinion, the Gibson SG looks a little bit more sexy, in my opinion.
It has more curves.
Yes, and it is, on some places, it is a bit less sharp, and on other places, then again, it is a bit more rounded off. And I prefer the look of this definitely, and the way that this ages, this finish, I really love that about it. And that's also a big thing where you spend
true.
your money on, actually.
That's true, because when you buy a guitar and when you spend a lot of time playing it and you see it age with you, I think that's the best thing in the world, because you can see all the dings and stings and all the cracking and stuff.
And
it's
all the scratches.
so sexy, actually.
Yes.
And with this, you barely can put a scratch in it, and with that, it's a really thin finish, actually. So
yes, and
that's really sexy.
Also, the crackle in the nitro is really the thing. When it changes from a really cold temperature to a warm temperature, or vice versa, changes in temperature, it will kind of crackle
cracks.
that finish, and that's really nice. But the reason that this guy is so much more expensive on that end is because finishing a guitar in that finish really takes a lot of hours, and that's basically why this one is...
Also, these are more premium woods than this, I think.
Yes, some of the woods that they would pass through on that guitar would never make it on this guitar.
No. And also the pots, the tone pots and the volume pots are a lot cheaper. I guarantee you cannot do a whole lifetime with those, or they will... just the hardware is just a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And yes,
the time spent
less
on
quality
making the guitar is a little bit less. So all of the finishing details about the Epiphone will be a little bit less. As you see, the edges are a little bit rougher. As you see, there is no binding. As you can see, the pickguard is a little bit more...
Yeah, it's sharper.
Yeah, sharper and stuff. All the plastics are a little bit sharper and stuff. And yeah, it's basically... It's a really good guitar.
That will not say it's a bad guitar, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, it's for a different kind of person, actually,
Yes.
I think.
And also for beginners. So
Yeah, in a different stage of what you're playing, or if you just don't care about all of this stuff, if you don't care about the lacquer cracking and all that stuff,
Yes.
if you don't care about the headstock, especially if you don't care about that,
Yeah.
about the branding and stuff, then you should really go for the Epiphone and just upgrade the pickups maybe and the
Yes.
hardware, and you have a really nice guitar. But I am really just a sucker for this stuff. I am a guitar snob, so that's why I love this guitar. And I would not be as happy with that guitar in...
That's true.
Still, if I didn't have any guitar and I got that guitar, that would be a really awesome guitar.
Indeed, for the price you get a lot of guitar. It's not a bad guitar. So
It's not like it plays bad or anything.
for the price, it's a great guitar. So there are a few dead spots. You can do a little setup or level your frets and it will be gone. So for the price, I just say it's a great guitar, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion too. If you have only 400 euros
Yes.
or dollars or whatever you have to spend, and you can afford this guy, and you don't care about this, or you just want the guitar, don't worry about that. This will be a bad guitar. This is an amazing guitar, but this is more a piece of art, basically.
That's true.
That's basically more a work tool to get the job done. It's still a piece of art, but not to the same detail
No.
as this as
This Gibson SG is probably more emotional value
a way more emotional value indeed.
than an Epiphone. If this accidentally fell on the ground, I wouldn't be so sad if it happened. If it happened with this, then with that, and probably the headstock will break because the angles are a little bit different.
Yeah,
That's
that's
also something-
also something to point out. This guitar has a really thin neck, a really hard neck angle, as you can see, and that guitar has a thicker neck, less angle, so it is superior in that way. And I think it has a scarf joint as well. No scarf joint. Oh,
No.
great.
So if this fell on the ground, it will probably not break because it already happened actually a few years ago, and I was so scared, but it didn't break, so I was happy. If it happened with the Gibson, it was probably broken.
Yeah, if I
you
drop-
had really luck, but
If I drop this guy, it will break.
So
No questions asked. It will just break.
also the inlays are probably pearloid inlays, and this is probably something
Plastic.
So this is just beautiful, and this is also beautiful, but more cheaper,
And
affordable.
I will say that you really have to see it for yourself if you can justify the quality to
Yes.
price difference. Because if you can't justify it for yourself, don't do it. In my opinion, it was really worth all the money that I spent on it because it has an emotional value. It looks amazing. It's just sexy as hell. And that's why I love this guitar. That's something I don't have with an Epiphone, so that's why I chose this one. But if all of that stuff doesn't matter for you, just get the cheap one and you will get great tones.
Also, a Gibson has just more balls.
And if you
Just-
hear in the
it's-
recording,
It sounds more open, I think.
yeah, with humbuckers, it's really a problem with
Yes.
the decompression and the open soundingness and the high end in the pickups. And that's something that Gibson doesn't really have. I must say, these pickups are not bad at all.
No.
I would change them out for sure, but
For what you get, it's great.
it's really great if you are jamming in your room and stuff and you're not recording.
Yes.
You don't have mics on your cabinets or anything, you won't be able to hear the difference. But if you put a mic in front of your amp and you want to make really nice demos for songs and you want to kind of gig and stuff, and you really want the quality of the sound to be there, yeah, change those pickups out or get the Gibson, in my opinion.
That's true. my opinion too. Something more to say, or
And also, one thing I would like to say is that on these guitars, we both have the same kind of neck
joint.
pocket, but on some SGs you have the longer neck pocket.
Yes.
And on the Epiphone ones, it is more prominent to find those longer ones.
But it's a little bit different, isn't it? Yours just goes a little bit down.
Yeah, I have a
and
little bit of
mine
a taper
is like
this way.
A block.
Yeah, his is like it doesn't taper.
Mm-hmm.
I have it over the horns and over the pocket that it just tapers a little bit.
Yes.
So that's also a difference. If it doesn't matter for you, just get what you like and what makes you play the guitar. Because at the end of the day, you just need a guitar that looks sexy and that does the job. If it inspires you to play, then you should get it. And you should really not worry about anything else.
That's true.
So guys, if you liked this video, please give it a like. If you disliked it, please give it a dislike. Please write some comments down below. Write that I am out of tune if I am. Write everything you want about me. I really enjoy all of your comments. And please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Yeah, do all of that great stuff. Subscribe, like, share.
Share with your friends and keep on rocking, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll see you back next Sunday or another day or any day.